Okay, so we had a request to just go through 8, just because people weren't that comfortable with their calculators. So grab your calculators and let's type in this equation. All right, so remember the calculator doesn't know if you're dealing with t's, x's, y's, whatever, and it's got h of t, but we just go, oh yeah, that means y. Okay, so minus 4.9, so menu, right, go into number 5, go to your graph, so minus 4.9, bracket, t take 3 squared, right, so I go, yeah, t, x take 3 squared, and then we have to add on 47. Now, you could have used a different scale and everything before, so I'm just going to go Shift View Window, right, standard. Now, if I graph it, I'm not really expecting to see, right, that's actually a bonus. I wasn't expecting to see anything. Sometimes you just won't get anything on your screen. So normally what you have to do is go to your scale, so Shift View Window, F3. Now, in our case, X represents time, so we cannot have negative time. When I graphed this before, I noticed that it did go up and then come down, so I know that 10 is okay. If I only saw one line, what I might be tempted to do, and I'll read the question, is then increase my X value. So if this was a question, I don't know, on something that was going for, it said hours in the whole day, so then you have to go to 24, so you'd increase your X value. So always try and do that. Once we've done this, if you want to, you can see that you have to increase your Y values. I'm a bit slack, so I go Shift Zoom Auto. Does it for me. I'm going to get rid of all of this wasted space down below, because that would then be saying the rocket's going underground, or the fireworks going underground, so that's no good. So go back into View Window again. We get really familiar with this, and I go, oh, I don't need any negatives there. I could set it to 0, but I like to have a little bit of a buffer so I can see my X axis. And you'll see when you start doing G-solve, if you don't have a little bit of a gap here, the numbers of the x-axis go right over your solutions and it's really hard to see. All right, so there we go. If you really, some of you, I know, want to see the absolute top, so you can go up here and you can increase that. Let's go 52 or 55, like it doesn't matter. You didn't even have to change it if you didn't want to. All right, so now what do we want to do? What is the maximum height that the rocket reaches? That's a quick old G-solve max. So you get 2 values. The X, that is when it reaches the maximum height, because X represents the time, but your maximum height is 47. And please notice, you have to write the units. Don't just write 47. So now we've answered part B, how many seconds after it is launched does the rocket reach its maximum height? So we already did that, that was your X value. Find H of 1 and explain what this represents. Okay, so again, on your calculator, if you wanted to, wherever X is, you could replace it with 1. But because we've graphed it, we're going to go G-solve, we're going to go more, we're going to go Y-calc. And when X is 1, and it does it for us. So it's going to be 27.4 meters. Please notice, right, I still showed my line of substitution. Just in case you have typed the wrong equation into your calculator, you accidentally put X plus 3 instead of X take 3, or you put 46 instead of 47. Showing that you've substituted it saves you a mark, right? I'll go, oh, clearly something is a buck with the calculator. But I will still give you your marks. All right, at what time was the rocket at 15 meters? So this time, at what time you're finding your X value. So you could go G-solve, X-calc, and when Y is 15. We get one value, use your arrow keys, you get the next. Another way that you could do it is to actually pop in 15, because that's, you can see that is now the height there, and we G-solve intersect. I'm a fan of this, it just helps me visualize things. And you can see those 2 answers is what we got here. Oh, whoops, what we got here. 40.44 seconds and 5.56 seconds. How long was the rocket above 30 meters? So same sort of thing. So I'm going to go back, and instead of 15, I'm going to have 30. G-solve, intersect. Of course, if you wanted to do X-calc, Y equals 30 and get your 2 values, that's fine. Do make sure that you answer the question. It doesn't say when was it, it says how long. So give me this next bit. The fireworks stays lit until it hits the water. For how long is it lit? All right, so I'm going to get back get rid of that one. When it hits the ground, it's not lit anymore. So that is your x-intercept. So G-solve root, we find our x-intercept. Right. Last one. How high above the water is the barge from where the firework rocket is launched? So when it was initially fired, how much time has passed? Right, no time, 0 time. So you can either go G-solve y-calc is 0, or that is indeed your y-intercept. So that's how we get the 2.9. So part of it is interpreting the question and knowing what it is that you're finding, and then of course you need to make sure that you know how to use your technology. It becomes a really quick, right, that should take no more than 5 minutes, that whole question, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 easy marks if you know how to use your calculator. If you don't, it becomes a much harder question.